Hi everybody and welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, welcome. I'm Amber Rose, also known as the Religious Hippie. You can basically follow me on any social media platform, or you can go straight to my website at thereligioushippie.com. Hopefully my audio works today, because yesterday it wasn't working for some reason. So anyways, hi everybody. It seems like it's working today. Thank you so much, Tractor. I really appreciate you being here. I appreciate all the support, and yeah. It's great. I'm wonderful. Okay, great. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. This is a little bit outside of what I usually do for my timing, I guess, so to speak. I usually do these live streams earlier in the day, but I had a few minutes and I was like, why not just do this for fun? So we're going to do this for fun. And I just kind of wanted to do a little chit chat. So I sound like I'm talking in a tin can. Are you sure it's not yours? Are you sure it's not your speakers, Clay? I mean, I tested it earlier today and it seemed okay, but I'm also, these things, we're still trying to work out the kinks in the audio, so I don't know. It sounds odd. All right. I sound tiny? No. Can't sound tiny. Does this do anything? Does that do anything? This is the joys of having a new audio. I'm trying to figure out the settings and everything, but something has to be on my streaming platform that makes it sound weird, because when I'm just normal, like recording or whatever, nothing's wrong with it. Should I call my husband in to fix it for me? Poor guy, he's working on his stuff. Okay, does it sound okay now? I don't know what I did. Also, there's a lag, so it's fine now. Fixed. Okay. All right. Well, I don't know what I did. Welcome to my live stream. Hi, everybody. I hope you guys are all doing well. I'm going to have to edit the heck out of this live stream before it goes back up. But I just finished filming some videos, and besides that, everything's kind of just, yeah. What was I talking about? Okay, so there are a few things. First of all, there is a Black Friday sale on my donation center right now where you can get everything 20% off if you use the code Friday20 at checkout, and that just really helps the ministry, and it's Black Friday, so you guys get a discount for some items for Christmas potentially, whatever you guys want. And then on top of that, I just finished filming today my prayer routine video. There have been a lot of people requesting a updated prayer routine video from me. And I was like, well, I should probably get on that since it changes like every month. I like to change it up. And since we have December coming up, I'm like, well, this would be the perfect time to kind of show you guys my prayer routine from December. Or for December. So if you guys want my updated prayer routine, it's on my website. You guys can go to my website, thereligioushippie.com, and then underneath resources, you'll see my daily prayer routine. And if you click on that, there's a PDF with all of the prayers in there. So you guys can either print it out or, I don't know, just whatever you guys want to do with it. But it's a physical copy so that you guys don't have to like go through my video a whole bunch and try to write down what I'm saying or go and find these prayers. They're all kind of compiled for you guys just right there. So that's good. But, yeah, I'm trying to think of anything else. I can't think of much at the moment. There is a conference, an online conference that I'm doing called Divine Fulfillment, and that's just a conference we're doing on mental health and how that interacts with our faith. And I believe I don't think I put anything in the description about it. Let me see here if I can find it real quick. Yeah. So if you guys want to go check it out, it's from December 27th to the 29th, and it's free. It's completely free. And I'm one of the guest speakers that'll be speaking there. So it'll be really, really cool. Highly, highly suggest that you guys go and do that. if you guys are interested in something like that. And then, yeah, tomorrow starts Advent. Okay, I see some of you guys kind of talking about Advent in the chat over here. It's so crazy how quick uh, these holidays come up. I'm like, oh my gosh, it's already Advent. Thanksgiving was literally a couple days ago, and it's just crazy how fast this year has gone by. I don't know, I feel like I say that about every year, but specifically with this year, I just feel like with everything that has happened, everything is just flying by so crazy. I'd love to hear what you guys are doing for Advent. I don't know if you guys saw, but Blessed is She released an Advent devotional. They have one for men, women, and children on their website, and you guys can use my promo code Amber10. But I got the Blessed is She Advent devotional for women, and I'm so excited to start that tomorrow. I have it somewhere around here. It's in the vast books that are on either side of me. But yeah, it's just so crazy how fast time has flown by, and it's crazy. We were supposed to hang out in March, and that feels like a month ago. Yeah, I know, Clay. It felt like it was so long ago, and March is, I mean, everything just felt like it went so fast. I had my wedding in June, so March, April, May, June, and March is when everything happened with my dad. So that was just a blur of a month. And then after that, everything has just kind of been so crazy. But yeah. So, hi, I'm a new Catholic. I enjoy following your page because I find out how much I don't know about the faith. That's okay. I'm learning stuff every day too, so it's totally okay. Do you recommend a book that details all the various celebrations and important days of uh, throughout the liturgical year, like Hallowtide, etc.? Catechism is all theology, right? Yeah, so the Catechism is great. I just think that's a perfect resource if you want to learn about the faith as a whole. There's another book. I have it all the way up there, and I can't reach it without getting up on my desk. But it's called Catholic All Year, and that's also a really, really good book. I think there's also another book called The Catholic Homemaker's Guide to Liturgical Living, something like that. Those are two books that you could look into and potentially buy. That could definitely help you live liturgically throughout the year. So those are the two books I would suggest. Um, but yeah, going to celebrate Christmas and New Year's in the Philippines. Ooh, Davis, that sounds really cool. Why are you going to the Philippines? Any special reason or just for funsies? Because I know some people have family there, other people just go there because it's like a vacation. Um, why are you going to Philippines? Yes, Catholic All Year sounds perfect. Thank you. God bless. You're welcome. It's great. This will be my first Advent as a Catholic. Can you explain it or a good source to check it out? So I have a bunch of videos on my channel that explains Advent, but I can do a quick kind of summary for you. Otherwise, we're going to be here like all day. But Advent is when we are preparing for the birth of Jesus, but we're not just preparing, we're also preparing for the coming of Christ, so his second coming. And we do that through penance and reparation and overall just trying to get ourselves into spiritual shape for the coming of Christ. Now, this is kind of a time of year where we can really reflect on our own lives and see what virtues we need to grow in. Now, we should be doing this every day, but this is a time where it kind of gives you a kick in the butt almost. If you haven't been doing it the rest of this year, this is the time to kind of, you know, get your prayer life in order, get right with God, make sure that your life is in order, and just overall being prepared for the coming of Christ as a baby, but then also, you know, for the second coming. And we don't know the day or the hour, so it's good to always be prepared for the second coming of Christ. And I will say that when it comes down to it, I think it's a great time to prepare our homes as well. If you guys look in the Catholic All Year book, I believe they suggest decluttering, and my mom just gave me 20 bucks. Thanks, Mom. Thank you for supporting your daughter. And we've been doing a lot of decluttering at my parents' house. And so this is like a perfect time for Max and me to declutter as well. We have been getting rid of everything except books, basically. Clothes, Jewelry I don't wear anymore that's like really, really cheap jewelry that's, it's like it gives you like swollen. I mean, only women will understand, but, or not, you know what I mean. But if you have piercings, like it makes them swell up because they're, out of nickel or something. I don't know. But the point is that it's just not the vibe. So we've been decluttering a lot of stuff, but we've been adding on books because Max gets books for every single Christmas or birthday. And so I think he got 6 books for his birthday this year. And then for Christmas, I think he's getting another couple. And then we always go to the library and get more books. So yeah, it's great. But, packing up those books when we move is going to be such a pain. Such a pain. And we're going to have to get some movers to help us with that. Some of these books are thick, Anyways, so yeah, Advent's a great time to kind of just get your life in order, I feel like. And obviously, I go a little bit more in depth in the videos, so you guys can go check out the videos on my channel. But yeah, hopefully that sums things up. Basically, we're just preparing for the coming of Christ, whether it's him as a baby or the second coming. So that's good. Yes, everybody needs books. Thank you, Mom. I have a great channel, guys. My mom approves of my channel. That's how you know. You should appear on the Michael Knowles show. We're working on it. Aren't we, Clay? If Clay is still here. Aren't we working on that? Well, okay. I'm trying to get Michael Knowles on my show first, but I know he is very busy, so I'm trying to work with his producer to figure out all of that. But in general, things are quite busy. Yes, Clay, bug Michael Knowles for me, please, so that because he's not answering my emails, so sus. Just kidding. I don't have beef with Michael Knowles. He's chill. Anywho. Hi, Amber. Greetings from Italy. I have some advice. I have a crush on a guy, but the problem is that he loves horror and gore stuff a lot. What should I do? I like him a lot. Thanks. Oh, it depends. I think when it comes to horror and gore, that was something I was really, really into back in the day. I watched stuff that now would make my stomach churn. I cannot watch a lot of horror stuff, but true crime, give me true crime. But when it comes to horror, I'm like, don't think so. And I'm at that point in my faith where I can watch a horror movie here or there and be fine. It's not a huge deal because as Catholics, it almost sets in the reality that either this could be possible or this couldn't be possible. And a lot of horror movies just aren't realistic. But if it bothers you, I would talk to him about it. I know he's just a crush. And so if he was, well, okay, he's just a crush, right? So if he's just a crush and nothing more, I don't think there's any point in talking to him about it because if you guys aren't boyfriend, girlfriend, if you guys aren't official, you don't really have any grounds to be asking him to change things that he likes about certain things, right? So I just think that depends, right? And for me, I mean, when Max and I first started dating, we watched a horror film and I giggled through the entire thing because he just asked me out, despite the fact it was just like the goriest thing ever. But it didn't bother me really because I was just like, ooh, la la la, we just started dating, like, oh, so excited. And since then, we've watched a couple horror movies here or there just because we heard about them, thought they were interesting for cinematography or something. But they were never very good, in my opinion. I always had issues with horror movies, rather because they always just kind of fed off of jump scares or like gore factor as opposed to really being intentionally thrilling or getting your heart rate up or actually offering a good storyline. It just felt like they were trying to get cheap scares, and so I never really liked many of them and I grew out of them pretty easily. But again, I think it's just because you guys aren't dating and he's just a crush. I don't know where that's gonna go. I don't know if that's something you guys have talked about and like you're interested and he's interested but just haven't made it official yet. But I don't think you can really do anything about that until you guys start dating and you kind of voice your concerns about this. I don't think it's necessarily a red flag. I think it depends on why he enjoys horror movies. I think a lot of guys are very desensitized to that type of stuff. I'm just saying that he's probably not a serial killer or anything like that just because he likes horror movies. Now, is it the best thing to be obsessed with and watching and all that stuff? No, I don't think it is. I don't think it's healthy for our mind or our soul. But at the same time, the same thing could be said for the amount of true crime I watch and listen to. So, you know, it all takes discernment. It really does. But we'll see. Bu- 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 Clay said, "Nah, he's totally a serial killer." Clay knows best, so I got nothing. Uh, yeah, it's crazy. Also, I was supposed to have this live stream on Instagram as well, and it never clicked over, and I'm kind of offended at Instagram for not working properly. So, anyways, sorry for anyone who had to come on here instead of Instagram. What should I do if my fiance likes pineapple on pizza? That's unforgivable. I'm sorry. You gotta talk to your priest. Potentially just gotta cut it off right now. No, I'm just kidding. Pineapple on pizza really isn't that bad. I mean, I don't personally enjoy it all that much. I think the pineapple makes the crust wet. So I feel like if they just dried the pineapple a little bit more, it's not like the worst thing in the world. But I've had it with like tiny chunks of pineapple as opposed to like the big slices. And it's not awful, but would I order it on my own? No. And that's gross. We used to order, when I was dating this one guy, we used to order Hawaiian pizza, which is like ham and pineapple. And the pineapple mixes well with like the saltiness, but I still wouldn't have ordered it on my own. I prefer just a plain cheese tavern style pizza from Giordano's, personally. It's just, you know, it's fine. Rebecca says, any ideas for someone living in a small town where there aren't many groups at the church? How can I meet someone if there are not many opportunities before or after Mass? Yeah, I don't think you always have to meet people at church. I think this is something that oftentimes gets overlooked. And I highly suggest if there's a pro life group in your area, you will find plenty of Catholics there. I also think Facebook has a lot of groups that you could potentially dive into. Just, I mean, obviously you would want to be in person, but some in person groups are on Facebook. And that kind of gives you an opportunity to get to know these people and see what kind of events they have if they have them on YouTube. Besides that, I would say, I know you said you live in a small town, so that's kind of tough to find other churches where there could potentially be young adult groups. But maybe if you ask a priest there, or maybe even if you just kind of go up to one of the young adults there and you ask them like, hey, do you know of any young adult groups or anything around this area? Another great way to meet people is through soup kitchens. Not the best situation in Chicago because Max and I were like the only two young adults there when we did the soup kitchen thing. And the only reason I was there was because I was trying to, I was trying to make a move on Max. So I was like, well, I got to do what he likes to do. So I helped out at the soup kitchen for a while to get closer to him and kind of, do things together. And it was really fun. But obviously, that wasn't the only reason. I, of course, wanted to help people too who were homeless. But there was a perk. And that perk was getting to know Max. So, um, yeah, I would say if there's any pro-life groups in your area, try that. If there are other young adult groups, you could probably find them on Facebook. And yeah, I think can't really think of anything else. It's really hard when you're in a small town. It really is. Sometimes small towns have colleges that have Newman centers that you could potentially go to and find other Catholics there. But I'm not sure what small town you live in or what state you're in. So it's just a kind of case by case situation. But hopefully you do find somebody or people, community in general. Online, I know, isn't out the best. We want in person community, but starting online isn't always the worst thing either. Rumi said, we Hawaiians do not claim Hawaiian pizza. Have I ever done the First Friday devotion? So yes, I haven't completed it. Wait, no, yes. Did I complete? I completed the first Saturday devotions. I am currently completing the first Friday devotions. And let me tell you, it's not the easiest thing to do in the world. You would think, like, oh, I only have to go and fulfill this devotion the first Friday of every month for, like, what is it? 9, 5, 5 months? Yeah, 5 months. I get the first Saturday and first uh, Friday devotion times mixed up. But you would think it would be so easy, right? But if you miss a day, you have to start all over again. And there was this time when Max and I were traveling, and then there was this other holiday or something. I don't know. And I could not find any mass times for the time when I would be available. And I was like, well, maybe I should just cancel my plans to go because obviously God's more important. But then we had already committed and there was already money involved. And I was like, oh, great. Okay. So I missed my first Friday, which is really, really annoying. Um, but okay, thank you, Rumi. 9 months. And then the 5 months is the first Saturdays, Dixie. Thank you. Because I always get them mixed up and I just keep going. I just never stop. At some point, I'm just like, I probably completed it by now, but we're just going to keep the streak going. And then I just keep going. But yeah, I 100% believe that everybody should do the first Friday or first Saturday devotions. The first Saturday's devotions were introduced by Our Lady of Fatima in reparation for the blasphemies and overall just like all the terrible things that people like say and do to Our Lady. There's just so many things, especially today. You could be on Twitter for like 5 minutes and come across literally the most disgusting, blasphemous images and words about Our Lady. And it's kind of like clockwork. Every single time it's a Marian feast day or certain things like that, it's like the blasphemers just come out of the woodwork and it's just they blaspheme Our Lady all over social media. It's just insane. And so we do the first Fridays, first Saturdays. I'll get to first Fridays. So, first Saturdays, you go to Mass, you keep Our Lady company for 15 minutes, meditating on the 15 mysteries of the Rosary. And then, of course, by keeping her company for an extra few minutes, you go to confession and receive the Eucharist. And you, oh my gosh, there's something else. Usually there's little prayers that you can pray to. They have like a whole little booklet for the first Saturday devotions. And you do that for every single first Saturday for 5 months. And if you miss a month, you have to restart. So that's the first Saturday. And then First Friday devotions is basically the same thing, but for 9 months. So the first Friday every month, you will go to confession, receive the Eucharist. Um, oh my gosh. There's like a whole little booklet about like all the prayers of the Sacred Heart that you can do for First Friday devotions. And I've done a couple videos on these too, so definitely go check those out. I'm trying to remember like all the little nitty gritty details, but I can't at the moment. So if you guys are interested in that, highly suggest you guys go watch those videos. But yeah, it's crazy. I'm currently reading Jesus and the Jewish Roots of Mary. Have you read that book? I'm halfway through and I've learned so much about Mary. I haven't actually read the book. That's by Brant Petrie, correct? I have that book on my reading list and I've been meaning to get it. I think we actually have it. I think my husband has it. I'm not 100% sure, but I'm pretty sure. And it's been on my reading list for quite a while, and I just have not gotten around to it because every time I'm like, ooh, let me go through my reading list, I try to start with the top one and then work my way down. And I'm just not there yet. But it is a phenomenal book. I love that book. Haven't read it, but I've heard great things about it. If you didn't have the ministry, would you still have social media? If people choose to not be on social media, what would be the best way to keep them in the loop about events? Yeah, if I did not have this ministry 100%, I don't think I would have social media, at least not to the extent that I have it right now, which is like I'm on Twitter, YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. I'm everywhere. And I definitely don't think I would have it to the extent I have now just because of the amount of mental breaks I have to take from social media and just the craziness of social media. But I also recognize that there is a need for Catholic influencers in the world, like devout, normal Catholic influencers in the world, and people who are genuine and authentic and need to reach other people who are struggling with maybe the same things that I've gone through, or, just a little bit of advice here or there, just somebody to look up to. I didn't have that. And that's why the ministry kind of started. I tried to become that person for other people because I didn't have that. And I fall short in so many ways, but I will say that I have learned so much because of you guys. And I just hope that I can kind of reciprocate that for you. Um, but for how to how to keep people in the loop. So how I usually keep people in the loop who don't have social media is they sign up for my newsletter on my website, thereligioushippie.com. It pops up when you just type in the website, and you can sign up for my newsletter, and then you get emails. So you'll know when I have a limited edition drop, when there's a sale on the donation center, any upcoming events, or you'll get my newsletters, you'll get all of that stuff. And I don't spam you guys. Believe me, I should probably actually put out more newsletters than I actually do, but yeah, that's kind of my that's usually how I have people stay up to date with stuff. Is I try to send out a newsletter with like recent episodes I've done, whether that's like video or podcasts. Just kind of keep people in the loop that way. And I can't really think of any other way to do that, but yeah, hopefully that helps. Um, Rumble in the future. If Rumble gets better, probably. I mean, I do have a Rumble account, just in case, but until like either YouTube bans me or something, it's like, I don't know, Rumble's not really at the point yet where I'm interested in being on it. I understand the purpose of it and the free speech and all that stuff, and I'm so down for that, but it's just another social media platform I would have to deal with. And yeah. So, I'm not I'm not interested in it yet until something happens, I get banned or YouTube becomes worse or whatever. So, we'll see. We'll see. It's not out of the picture. I'm just not quite there yet. Um Amber, I'm not baptized, but I support the faith and prayer through the rosary and more things in the Catholic Church. I'm under 18, so I need parent permission to get baptized, but my family is anti-Christ. Do you have advice? Um, that's odd because I don't think, do you need parental consent to get baptized? I don't think that's true. If your priest told you that, I don't think that's accurate. Also, if your priest said that, I would tell him your situation, because more often than not, priests will understand. If he's a good priest, he'll understand that the sacrament of baptism is way more important than parental consent. If your parents are standing between you and the Lord, that is, well, that's on their soul, of course, but that's also on the priest's soul if he refuses to baptize you without your parents' consent. I don't think he can do that. I don't know for sure though, so if there's a priest or somebody in the comments that knows, let me know. You're in the UK. I don't know what the rules are in the UK, but it still shouldn't matter because the church is universal and everything's, the same despite where it is, or should be at least. I would talk to the priest about the situation and just say, like, hey, my parents are anti-Catholic, anti-Christ in general, and you're never going to get their permission, but this is the path I want. I want to follow Christ, etc. And basically just kind of lay that out for him. Yeah, I mean, if you haven't asked him yet, just, ask him, because that's important. Obviously, you'll still have to go through RCIA, but that's free. And again, you shouldn't need parental consent for that either. So just let me know how that goes. But I do think it's odd that he wouldn't baptize you just because, you're underage. So let me know how that goes though, because I mean, again, things are different. Are there any special devotions for St. Joseph, like the Rosary, Miraculous Medal, Scapular, etc.? Yes. So there's actually something called a St. Joseph Rosary, or St. Joseph Chaplet. Pretty sure it's one of the two. There's called St. Joseph Sorrowful Chaplet, where you reflect on the sorrows of St. Joseph. The sorrows of, I don't remember all of them, But there's one about being at the presentation of Jesus and hearing basically what Jesus will have to go through and what Mary will have to go to, and recognizing that he's not going to be a part of that, recognizing that he's probably going to die before all of that happens because only Mary and Jesus are a part of that prophecy and he is not. So that's a wound. And then also not being able to comfort Our Lady at the foot of the cross is another wound. So there are a few different devotions out there. There's the St. Joseph Novena. There's the Prayer to the Sleeping St. Joseph, where there's this statue of St. Joseph and he's asleep, kind of like on his side like this. And usually you write a petition that you would like St. Joseph to grant, and you put it on a piece of paper, slip it under the statue. And oftentimes, if it's in line with God's will, St. Joseph will grant that petition. So, yeah, there are a few different things, but I would say the St. Joseph Chaplet's probably the most common. I think, hang on, I'm gonna Google if the Sorrowful Rosary, St. Joseph. I don't remember if it's a chaplet or a rosary. Oh, there is the Rosary of St. Joseph. Yeah, okay. And then, yeah, so you guys could just Google that and it pops up right away. But those are some things that you could definitely incorporate from St. Joseph. St. Joseph consecration is also a great devotion to St. Joseph. Yes, the St. Joseph consecration is phenomenal. I believe that's by Father Calloway. He's done a couple devotions, and I have there it is. The consecration to St. Joseph. Hang on. You know what? I don't want to get up. I'm sorry. I would get up, but that's a lot of work. I have to push this whole thing back. And anyways, but it's really cool. I highly suggest it. 33 days to consecration to St. Joseph. And I think I've done that devotion twice now, and I learned so much about St. Joseph, and it also helped me as a woman to see what kind of guy I would want to marry one day, and I have him now, so 10 out of 10. But it definitely helped me kind of raise my standards to where they needed to be for a Catholic guy, and yeah, 10 out of 10. I wanted somebody like St. Joseph. I got somebody like St. Joseph. It kind of worked out that way. The Catholic vibes in this room are so good. Lovely. I'm glad. I love Catholic vibes. What do you think the future of the TLM and Novus Ordo is? Reform the Novus Ordo? I don't know. Honestly, I don't know. I wish I did. I know there are tons of Catholics out there who speculate on the reform of the Novus Ordo, the complete destruction of the TLM, how maybe they'll just become equally accessible. I don't know. I can't say, but I say hold out for hope and just, pray that they'll both be able to be easily accessible and that the Novus Ordos that are less reverent become more so reverent. And yeah, that's the thing. I just don't know. And I can't really speculate either because there's so many different things, So, no, I know it causes stress. Hang in there. It's hard, I think it's important to remember, though, that any hardships that God sends us is for our purification and for us to grow closer to Him. So let's say that the TLM is completely restricted. You can't find it anywhere anymore. That is not a call to go underground and continue going to the TLM and disobeying the Holy Father. And I get a lot of hate for that. But it's true. We're called to obedience, and obedience is one of the most important things. And you can look at some of the saints who had to obey their superiors, some of them being fairly cruel to them. And I don't think that's Pope Francis at all. I do think that the media does twist his words quite a lot. But it's one of those things where we have to view this that God allowed it, and He allowed it for a reason. And whatever that reason is, we need to trust, and we still need to have obedience. That doesn't mean we have blind obedience, is what it's called, where it's like if the Pope told us to trample a crucifix, we would do that. Obviously, we wouldn't do that. But if God allows us to have something taken away from us, there is purpose for that, and through that suffering, we can hopefully help future generations and we can, kind of sanctify ourselves and get to heaven quicker. So yeah, it's great. Um, let's see. I'm getting baptized next week. Would you recommend me some prayer to set my soul into a less anxiety state or a novena? Yes. Um, I would highly suggest the Divine Mercy Chaplet. 100%. Just saying Jesus, I trust in you is really, really helpful. The other thing I would say is the surrender novena and the litany of trust. Those two, I suggest those two all the time, and I'll never stop suggesting those two. I think those three things: the Divine Mercy novena, sorry, the Divine Mercy Chaplet. I mean, there is a Divine Mercy novena if you want, but um, the surrender novena and then the litany of trust. Those three things will help you a lot. Congratulations, welcome home. I'm so glad. That's awesome, Larissa. Um, yeah, 10 out of 10. Oh, let's see here. Have I been to an ordinariate mass? I'm gonna Google what that is really quick because I might have and I just don't know that word. I don't know what that is. I think it's just I think it's just like regular, right? It's I'll do more research on it, but I feel like I have. We're gonna go with yes. Hey, I really want to be Catholic, but how can I get my ex-girlfriend to leave me alone? Oh, Xavier. Sweet Xavier. Women are crazy, let me just tell you. I don't know what you've tried, but honestly, you're probably just gonna have to flat out block her, or you're gonna have to flat out tell her, like, leave me alone. Because, I mean, unless you've already done, look, I don't know what you've tried, I don't know. But if she's consistently reaching out to you over text or email or whatever, just block her. Make it very clear to her. Draw that line in the sand and be like, I am not interested. I am not interested in a relationship with you. I ended things, or she ended things, whatever. And that's it. That's final. Like, you know, you have to set that boundary and you have to stick with it. And I think that that's something that's can be difficult at times, but it sounds like you're kind of over it. Personally, Xavier, it sounds like you're over it. But I would highly suggest literally just blocking her. If you're seeing her in person, ignore her. I know that sounds kind of cruel, but at the end of the day, it's probably what's best. I don't mean like completely ignoring her. I mean, you can acknowledge her existence and be like, oh, hey, but keep it short, keep it sweet. Don't try to get into conversation. Be like, I gotta be somewhere. Sorry. It's leave o'clock for me. And those types of things. Like, you literally just have to show through your actions that it's over. Some women are very, very clingy. Some women are very, very crazy. I have experienced a lot of them. And obviously, I didn't date any of them. And I was still like stabbed in the back with a fork. I almost had my ankle broken by one girl. I was shoved down. My ponytails were pulled, books smacked out of my hands. Like, ugh, So yeah, it's just crazy. Astro said, Amber, I've just emailed my parish priest and I'm waiting for a reply. I will email you once I have more information to keep you informed. Thank you. Yes, please keep me informed, because I do not think that he would deny you the sacraments just because your parents would not give you consent, or you know what I mean. So, you know what I mean? You should be totally fine. But yeah, let me know how that goes, because I think that, I mean, first of all, I'm interested in if that is actually something that he's going to do, like keep you from getting the sacraments because your parents don't approve. Like, that's obviously not right, and I would like to know his reasoning behind that. But I highly doubt that, he would do that. I think he's a good priest, and he would for sure do that for you. But yeah. I'm trying to think of anything else I want to talk about with you guys. There's like always so much I could talk about. I got those 2 books. the Agatha Christie book, which is a mystery, murder mystery, and then The Paris Wife, which is about Ernest Hemingway's first wife. And I haven't really gotten very far in it, but let me tell you, The Paris Wife, or yeah, The Paris Wife, instantly just like pulled in by the writing. The writing is phenomenal. It's descriptive, it's beautiful, it's enticing. And I have never read a book like that in this type of genre of literature. Like I've never read that type of I don't know. It was just very interesting to me. And then, of course, the Agatha Christie book. I mean, Agatha Christie's phenomenal. So we love her. But yeah. Oh, where did I get my Mary statue? I got it from, oh my gosh, it was a gift from a company. Let me see if her inscription. Oh yeah, Santa Maria. You can go to santamaria.us. I don't know if that's Instagram or not, but for those who want to see it, this is her. She's so pretty. We love her. She's covered in roses because I'm Amber Rose. So, yeah. Oh, bro. There we go. So this is the statue. And you can get them on Santa Maria. I think. Hang on. Okay. I think their Instagram handle is different. Let me see here. Santa Maria. Are they even a company anymore? That is so odd. They have to be a company still, right? Okay, let me try their website. Santa Maria. Let's see. Huh. Does not look like they are a company anymore. Okay. I was not expecting that. I was genuinely thinking there was going to be. Huh. Okay, well, I'm sorry, guys. I guess you can't get these statues because they're apparently not a company anymore. Um, Sorry about that. Although it's not my fault, but yeah, I love that statue. I mean, it's just, it encompasses my own style perfectly with the roses and the, kind of like the minimalistic design almost. I have plenty of Our Lady statues that are not white with roses on them, obviously, but this one, I don't know. It's just like adds the perfect little touch in the background where it's like not too distracting, but it's still like really pretty, you know? So, I don't know. Michelle says, thoughts on attending a non-Catholic wedding as a Catholic. Have been invited to one, and my friend is Catholic but is marrying with a Baptist. They are not getting married in the church. Oh, yeah. This is tough. The church usually suggests that you don't go. The reason for that being that if you show up to a non-Catholic wedding where a Catholic is getting married, um, you know, you can't support that. And by going, you're showing support, right? And even if you're like, well, I don't support it, but I want to go, it's still like, well, why are you going? To support the marriage, right? You're going to celebrate them. And the only purpose of guests attending a wedding is to support and to celebrate them. So, unfortunately, I mean, try, if you can, maybe try to talk to them about it if they're the type that would be open to that. But if not, honestly, I've come up with excuses before because I just cannot be a part of that because that is just spiritually, that is so dangerous and it's not right. You know, it's not right. So, yeah, I would try to get out of that if possible. I know certain people have different opinions on that, but the church's opinion, the consensus of the church is usually Catholics cannot go to non-Catholic weddings where one of the people is Catholic, because that's showing support of, I don't know how to explain it. I don't know how to explain it without sounding like holier than thou or like prissy. And I'm not trying to be, it's just I'm trying to communicate what the church teaches. But the church teaches that we should not be attending those weddings. So I don't know if that's something you can talk to them about. I don't know if that's something you want to talk to them about, or if you just want to come up with an excuse as to why you can't go. But that seems to be the overall kind of vote for the church. What? Let's see here. But I know it's hard, Michelle, so I'm sorry you have to deal with that. Because the best way to love them is not to support them in their sin, and by not supporting them means you don't go. What is the weirdest thing you've heard Protestants claim about Catholics? Yeah. Oh, I'm so glad, Michelle. You're welcome. I do hope it works out. I hope that there's some kind of understanding there. Keep me updated if you want, but it's just a really tricky situation all around. You guys can kind of hear my voice grounding out and like breaking because I have been filming videos all day today. So excuse my horrible voice. Okay. The weirdest thing I've ever heard Protestants accuse Catholics of: worshiping circles. That is like, circles are pagan. That was probably like the craziest thing. Something about the Vatican and like all these things, and obviously there's all the history with the Vatican and blah blah blah. Point is that it turned into Catholics worship circles. And this was a long time ago on TikTok. I don't know if any of you guys were around at that time when I was on TikTok and all that, but it was chaotic to say the least. And I just remember us Catholics on TikTok at the time just having a heyday with that. And just like any circle in our house, we'd be like, oh, pagan. And it was really, really funny. It was obviously TikTok though, so it's really stupid. But I just remember that, and forever that will be one of the best memories I have of Catholic TikTok, where we all banded together and like made memes and stuff about Protestants thinking we worshipped circles. It was great, to say the least. It was the highlight, and that's not saying much for TikTok. So, but yeah. But with all of that being said, guys, I gotta go. We're celebrating Thanksgiving today because we couldn't on Thursday. We celebrated on Thursday with my parents, but my husband's brother was working on Thursday, so we decided to move it to Saturday. And point is, we're gonna have a little celebration of Thanksgiving. So anyways, happy Thanksgiving, happy Advent, everybody, and I will talk to you guys in the next live stream. Hope you guys all have a wonderful rest of your day. Save you a roll, Clay. Can I throw it in your general direction? Does that count? Like, just, it's all about the flick of the wrist, But I will eat a roll for you. How about that? Max and I will both eat a roll for you, Clay. Extra roll. But with all of that being said, I hope you guys are going to have I hope you guys will have a great rest of your weekend, and I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Bye, guys.